Hey guys, today we're going to talk about something which, shockingly, almost everyone agrees is good for us: exercise. Although I have to admit from the outset, this might be the one area in my life I'm personally the worst at when it comes to, living a healthy lifestyle. My exercises at the moment consist mostly of light house chores and very light gardening. But anyway, this video isn't about what I do, it's about what I say you should do. Yeah, just kidding. Now, while we most agree that movement is good, there's actually a surprising amount of debate out there when it comes to how we should be moving. Some say we need intense, sweaty workouts. Others swear by gentle movement, just walking, yoga, stretching, gardening. Some say do it fast, some say go slow. I guess it's also a bit like the difference between intense sexual activity and just gentle lovemaking. I mean, which is better? Well, there's probably a lot more involved there, so I guess let's stay with the non-kinky activities for now. So, what should we actually be doing? Given my limited experience on the subject of exercise, let me clarify that the following will be based on a mixture of research and what I believe is my own version of common sense and not actual experience. So let's start with a new fitness darling, high intensity interval training, which we'll call HIIT. Actually, there's some solid research behind it, including a few recent studies. A 2025 study in Scientific Reports showed that both HIIT and moderate cardio improved executive function in older adults. But HIIT actually gave a slightly bigger boost in things like focus, decision-making, and mental flexibility. So if you want to stay sharp, short bursts of intense movement may actually help. Then there's fat loss and metabolic health. A 2024 study in Scientific Reports compared HIIT and moderate intensity continuous training. That study was conducted over a period of 8 weeks in college students with obesity. And here's what they found. The HIIT group saw significantly greater reductions in body fat percentage, especially among women, over a 26% drop during that period. There were also bigger improvements in cholesterol, triglycerides, and liver enzymes compared to steady cardio, although you might already know that I don't think the cholesterol thing is quite that clear-cut. So anyway, while both groups improved, it looked like HIIT yielded some more benefits. However, it wasn't exactly fun. It involved 4 rounds of high-intensity intervals, 3 times a week. So yes, it works, but whether it suits your body and lifestyle, that's another question. At this point, you might also be wondering, is it safe? All that intensity? I know I've wondered that. And what about people with heart conditions? A 2025 randomized trial in the European Heart Journal tested HIIT in patients with serious heart conditions. Surprisingly, it was found to be safe and even improve fitness levels. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should start sprinting up hills if you have a heart condition, but I guess that study does show that under proper guidance, high-intensity exercise can actually be safe even for some higher-risk individuals. Now, let's talk about something simple, beautifully simple, walking. A 2024 meta-analysis of over 47,000 people across 15 countries found that even 4,000 steps per day reduced the risk of early death. The benefits did not seem to go much higher when we go past 6,000 steps for older adults and 8,000 steps for the younger ones. But still, that's a lot less than the 10,000 step marketing myth we've been told. And it gets better. Another review last year titled "The Multifaceted Benefits of Walking for Healthy Aging" showed that walking doesn't just improve cardiovascular health, it also helps with mental well-being, sleep quality, blood sugar and inflammation, and even slows aging at the cellular level. And in the blue zones, the parts of the world with the highest number of centenarians, people don't really do much conscious exercise. They just walk, garden, cook, sweep, carry, move. Maybe there's something to learn there. Also, when I try to evaluate what's the best approach for things in general, I think it's always wise to turn to nature and see what's going on there. And who lives the longest in the animal kingdom? Well, it's not the sprinters. Rather, it's the giant turtle, which can live for over 150 years, bowhead whales over 200 years, elephants around 70 years, moving at a calm and thoughtful pace. And as for the high energy animals, like cheetahs, which can hit 100 kilometers per hour, well, they only live 10 to 12 years. Lions, about 10 to 14 years in the wild. Mice, constantly in motion, gone by 2 to 3 years. Even hawks and falcons, built for speed and attack, average 10 to 20 years. So it seems like speed doesn't equal longevity. Explosiveness isn't the same as health. The long-living ones move steadily, gently, rhythmically. They pace their energy. They don't train. They just live. So maybe we've been trying to exercise like lions when we should be learning from the whales and the turtles. Of course, don't go extreme and don't try to be like a sloth. That super slow-moving animal. They actually don't move a lot, as you would expect. Apparently, on average, they travel only about 37 meters per day. And their average life expectancy is like less than 20 years. So something to learn about that one as well. So here's my final takeaway. I feel like many of us have either forgotten or simply no longer know how to move our bodies in the simple, natural ways our ancestors once did, or as some communities in the blue zone still do today. So instead, we've invented all kinds of techniques to try to compensate. High-intensity interval training, structured gym routines, maybe even apps that buzz when we've sat for too long. And as we have seen from the studies, yes, these do have benefits. But I really do believe the deeper secret to health and longevity is learning to move again in rhythm with nature. Like, just walking through a park and soaking in the sun, dancing in your kitchen while you're cooking, or carrying groceries like a proud little villager. And remember earlier when I said maybe all of this is kind of like the difference between intense sex and sweet, gentle lovemaking? Sure, intense sex gets your blood pumping, works your muscles, maybe even qualifies as cardio. But moving in rhythm with your partner, exploring sensations, building connection, letting the oxytocin rise and other things as well, maybe that's the real medicine. So maybe approach your exercise the same way, like you're making love to life. Slow, present, joyful, with rhythm. So let me know in the comments, are you more intense sex or gentle lovemaking when it comes to movement? And for the record, I swear I didn't plan to end this video talking about sex. Take care and move well.